This is Life's a Pitch TV. Main sponsor, DPS Tech. Also supported by Lackens, all about hearing. Forward Floors, Ginger Pickle, Fred Olsen Logistics, The Dove, Seckford Golf Club, Ashford Wright, John Keeble Cars, Venue 16, The Hudson Group, Come Hither Design, Sound 4 Pro Audio, and Suffolk Sound. Our charities this year, Cancer Support Suffolk and the Ipswich Town Community Foundation.
Welcome, capacity crowd. You're amazing. Thank you. Brilliant. Welcome to the DPS Tech Arena for today's Christmas episode of Life's a Pitch TV. I'm your host, Mark Murphy. Let me introduce to the team. It's Terry Butcher. It's Russell Osman. And Chambo. Also on technicals, we have Richard, John, and Mark. They deserve a round of applause down the front here. And Josh. Josh is down here as well, and our floor managers, Leslie Dolphin and Sarah Jane. You can go and sit down now. Thank you, cheerleaders. They were amazing. Thank you very much. So we have, despite being in a massive arena here compared to our normal studio, we have got still two stands to mention. We've got the Churchman stand, sponsored by John Keeble Cars, everybody. And we've got the North stand, sponsored by Ashford Wright. We're on YouTube, we're on podcast, and we're also on Suffolk Sound as well. In fact, we're absolutely everywhere. So if you're watching or listening, you are most welcome to the Christmas special. But we need a guest. And actually, this week, we've got two. Would you please welcome on stage, first of all, former town skipper and now director, ambassador of Ipswich Town, Matt Holland. Great to see you, Matt. Now, when special guests come along this time of the year, they come along like buses. We have another extremely special guest tonight. Would you give a big Life's a Pitch TV welcome to one of our current team, Chidozie Ogbene! Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. It's great to see you, Matt. Lovely to have you back on the programme. Chio, great to have you for your first time. The boot, how's the injury coming along? Just remind us what happened and how you're feeling.
Thank you for having me. The injury is going very well. It was obviously a freak injury against Brentford. It felt like someone kicked me, but as I said, you have to accept injuries like this. From my experience from playing this business, obviously, it's what comes with the game, and if you accept it. And as I said to the physios, like I'm fortunate, I'm very blessed. My career and how I've been here today, I always give thanks to the players I've played with, and obviously God. But if there is a club to have such an injury, it's definitely Ipswich Town.
And the boot is coming off when?
So I'm hoping I'm week 6.5 now. They look to take the boot off you around week 9, and then they will encourage you to walk by yourself, and hopefully I'll be in a good place by then.
How big a relief will that be?
As I said, I've accepted the injury, so I'm kind of like, motoring on, I'm moving on, I'm doing stuff each week in the training ground, working on, other parts of my body that I didn't have time to work on when you're playing, 100 miles an hour. So it will be a relief, obviously, to have that bit of independence, not having to put the boot everywhere I go, and, people feeling sorry for me, and you shouldn't feel sorry for me. As I said, this is my path this is my journey to take.
Well, it's good to see you. Fantastic. And Matt, if I can just bring you in, because you've had a very busy day today visiting club legends, haven't you? Tell us what you've been doing today.
I have indeed, yes. Thanks again for having me this evening. Happy Christmas, everyone. I've been to see Pat Godbold, who's obviously been a star of the show many times. She was moaning, so she's in good form. And I've been to see George Burley as well. I've been to see the boss. He's back home. He's had his operation. All went well with the operation. He's back home. He's coming to the game on Saturday against Newcastle, and he's in good form. So it was good to see both of those two today. And I've also spoken to Simon Milton, so he's okay as well, recovering. Gave us a bit of a scare last week against Bournemouth. It was a pretty horrendous time in the director's box last week. But if you're going to be ill anywhere, be ill at a football ground where the paramedics are on hand. That was handy. And also Mark Calver and Russell Osman were absolutely incredible. Two men in a crisis were outstanding, and Simon's very thankful.
Matt, just with Mills, I was trying to get his wallet out of his pocket, and it's either that or he got a tab in the bar.
You're making light of it, but genuinely, Russell and Mark were absolutely incredible, and Simon's very thankful, and he wishes everyone a happy Christmas as well. I've spoken to him on the way here, and he's grateful that he was on. The paramedics were on hand. He's going to meet them, I think, at the game on Saturday as well. So he's coming to the game on Saturday. Won't be working. And maybe he's got to realise he's 61, not 21, because he acts like a teenager, doesn't he, Simon? So, yeah, good news all round.
Well, we need to watch out for them going into the director's box. I guess that's where they'll be, and give them a massive round of applause, which they deserve as well. So thank you. Before we start talking about what happened at Wolves and things like that, it is today the 3rd anniversary of Kieran McKenna arriving at Ipswich Town. Do you know what? I'm 60 years old now. I know you might find that hard to believe, but I'm 60 years old. And a few years ago, I thought I would never, ever, ever see us back in the Premier League ever again in my lifetime. So to Kieran and everybody at Ipswich Town, I thank you for that. And let's just bloody enjoy the journey that we're on at the moment, because, let's just enjoy it. For those of us who've been going when there were 10 or 12,000 fans there, then we know what it's like when it's dark and cold and no one wants to turn out. And when you had a raffle and no one wanted to win the town tickets, and now look how... It's true, isn't it?
Sorry guys, that was my fault, sorry.
It's changed a bit now, my goodness me. So, now Brogan Florey's in the room. We rehearsed this earlier on, so please don't let her just stand up and sing on her own. But which would be a really cool thing. Don't do that. Come on, Brogan, lead us in song. Come on. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Brilliant, well done. She's available for parties and all sorts of things to sing at if you so wish. Terry, the impact that he's had on the club. Talk to me about that.
I think it was 3 years ago when we played, was it Wycombe Wanderers or something like that? I'm not too sure, but it seems way back in time. It's like going back to the future. But the way that he came into the club, it wasn't all singing and dancing. It wasn't I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Very quiet, very unassuming. Got everybody's imagination just through his honesty, his dignity, his class, and the coaching as well. I think we'll talk to Cheo about the coaching as well a little bit later on. But what he's done off the pitch and on the pitch has been astronomical, and it's great to see someone like that come into our club and be unassuming and be a real credit to his family and to his parents and everything else. But you look at him and you think Bobby Robson's come in and he's humble, and not so much humble with Bobby, but not all the time. But he's come in and he's just been a quiet phenomenon, really, just a quiet tornado, and he's given us all confidence, hasn't he? He's made us really feel a confident group of fans now, rather than before when we just couldn't be bothered.
Russell?
Well, everything that's got involved with Mark, it has improved. Whether it's the players, whether it's the way they're playing, whether it's the training ground, whether it's Portman Road. And I know it has a lot to do with the finances that are available or have been made available to him. But I think every player that's been touched by Kieran McKenna since he's been there over the last 3 years has a better understanding of the game and is a better player than he was 3 years ago. And I think that's the case for everybody that's come to the club that's been fortunate to be coached by a very, very clever young man. I think he's a great coach.
Chamber?
Yeah, 3 years too late, really, to be honest. Yeah.
Let it go, let it go, let it go.
No, he's incredible what he's done. We've all been here to witness it. It's absolutely unbelievable. What we do have to remember as well, inside those 3 years, we've had that takeover, and every single decision that's been made to really set the club up to be successful has been made, and it's been executed perfectly, which has given him that platform to do his job, which is to improve players and create a culture. And that's what I've been most impressed with. The team is one thing, but the club itself now is team, staff, fans. Whereas before, it was almost non-existent. So that's the thing. I think he's tied together so well with Mark Ashton and all the people in between that. I know so many of them here tonight. They've done a fantastic job, and they should be applauded as much as Kieran McKenna. But at the end of the day, he is verging on a genius for what he's done. And I think it'd be very, very difficult to replicate anything that he's done at another club in the next 20 years.
Amazing. Matt, your assessment.
To be honest, I agree with everything that Russell said about improving players. I don't think there's a player that's gone backwards. Everyone's got better. Chambo said if he'd come 3 years earlier, it'd have been good for him. It might have been the first failure under Kieran. He might not have got any better. But
I'd have still kicked it off. It's been fine.
The exception proves the rule.
He's genuinely built an unbelievable culture at the football club. People do the right things. They're professional, and that stems from him and his attitude, his work ethic. You won't find anyone that works harder than Kieran McKenna. He is incredibly. He's in the training ground before 7. He's the last one to leave it. Managers generally are, and coaching staff generally are. But honestly, he and Mark Ashton, I want a pint of whatever they're on, because they do not stop. They are relentless, and it's been incredible since he's arrived. What a journey, fantastic, and to be back in the Premier League and competing week in, week out as well, not just in the Premier League. I think when you get promoted, it's really difficult. You know that. Last season, the 3 promoted teams all went back down again, so that's how difficult it is. You look at the 3 teams who went up this season in the bottom 6, it's a difficult league, and we know that, but every single game we've been in it. Barring maybe Everton, I thought we were disappointing. Second half against West Ham, but every single game we've been competitive, and that's down to Kieran, his coaching staff, and improving everything around the football club and the players in particular.
Chio, what about your assessment of Kieran? You'd obviously seen what he'd achieved when they came calling for you.
Yeah, I'll tell you the truth now. So I've battled against Ipswich Town for many years with my time at Rotherham, and I've always come out the better side. And when the Ipswich Town appointed Kieran as manager, I never beat Ipswich Town after that. So I'll tell you the truth. So I've seen it from afar what he's achieved with this team, and I've only been here a short while, and he's a unique manager. He's quite different from the managers I've seen. And I know I'll improve, and I'm very confident the players will improve. And if you look at the team that he has now, these players have gone through the journey with him from League One to Championship and all the way. So that's big credit to the manager and what he's doing. Sometimes managers take over a very good team, and pump lots of money, and he's gone through the humble hardship way, and grinded and molded his team and built a culture around the dressing room, which is the moment I stepped in, I knew I was in a good place. So credit to him from what I've seen, the times playing against him in League One, slugging through to now, it's night and day. But from my take, I've been in there just a few months now, and just what I realized, there is a culture of togetherness, and I know people might say we all just say togetherness, everyone's together, but I really mean it. I've never been in a dressing room where those who are in the stands and those who are not playing are like cheerleaders for those who are playing, and it's very difficult. As professional footballers, you have to prioritize your career. You're pushing for yourself and your family, and to have an environment where you see from distance like those who are not playing cheering for those who are playing, that just shows you what kind of building, what kind of culture we have here, and what he instills. It's a family club, but he makes everyone equal. He encourages players. He tries to coach you any way you can, and you always improve under him. But what I do like is, we're in the Premier League. It's very difficult. We are going to lose games. We are finding it tough. But we're still trying to do the right things. And it's so easy to change and listen to the outside noise and start, freestyling. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to there's a recipe, there's a formula, and it's hard work and persistency. And that's what he's trying to instill in the boys. So that's one thing I really like about the manager, and how, he doesn't want to change the formula now because it's not going right. We believe in the culture we got here because of what he's done and what the players and the fans and the club, everyone is putting. So that's, to me, is, one of the best managers I've been with.
Fantastic.
Chio, how is it? You said he's different. How is he different with his methods and the way he gets his point of view over?
So I'll give you a quick example now. I don't want to compare too much from different clubs, but on the pitch, it's 100 miles an hour. There's a lot of things happening, and the attention to detail it's minor, but it makes a big difference. For example, on the pitch, the gaffer is quite is quiet, so he lets the players express themselves. But when there is time to give him information, obviously he listens to his staff. Some managers maybe it's their way or no way, but he's quite open and flexible, listens to his staff, and the information on the pitch, like where he's letting it flow, and something, obviously the games are all advanced now. You have analysis watching it from above, which is easier from bird's view, and they pass the information down. So for an example, if it's a set piece and I'm supposed to mark Luke, and I'm marking the wrong guy, the information will come on, and it's very fast. Well, some clubs where they'll let it happen, and then they talk about it on a Monday, why we can correct it, but everything is he tries to correct it in the moment, as planned, because we're human beings. Sometimes things can, happen so quick. For an example, we went to press, do I remember, is it Brentford? And, they were beating the press, so we change it in the moment, which these things, not many managers do, because it can be a prideful job where you don't want to change it, and you believe that if you do the same thing, you're going to get the result. He's not egoistic like that. He's able to adapt in the moment, and these things, I think, make a big difference on the pitch.
The stats speak for themselves, actually. I borrowed this off Phil Ham's twtd.co.uk website, bless him. Played 148 games, won 77, drawn 43, lost 28. Win percentage is 52.03. That's higher than Sir Alf, higher than Sir Bobby, and higher than George Burley, which says it all, doesn't it? Absolutely incredible stats.
Yeah.
Mark, that 52% is 50% higher than my record as a manager, I'll tell you. But thanks for reminding me. I really feel pleased about that.
There's still time to go back into it, Butch.
You must be joking. No.
Moving on. He's giving me that look. Let's talk about what's happened at the bottom of the Premier League. Southampton's manager, former Norwich City player. Oh, come on. Former Norwich City player. Thank you. Russell Martin sacked. Gary O'Neill, Wolverhampton, sacked. We're down in a similar sort of position, but Kieran's got to be probably the most secure manager, more secure than Pep Guardiola at the moment, I think. He's doing so well. Wolves, Matt, what did you make of them? But the first goal, Chapper's shot, and then ping-pong into the back of the net. They all count, don't they?
Yeah, they all count. I wasn't surprised, to be honest, to see Gary O'Neill go. Some of his comments post-game, I thought, throwing the players under the bus. weren't the brightest comments, I don't think, from Gary, who I've got a lot of time for, and I think he's a really good coach and has done a good job as a manager there. But I thought by throwing these players under the bus, I thought that was ill-conceived, really. I thought it was a poor decision by him.
But Matt, when you're the manager in that position, it's the last bit of joy you'll ever have. So you get it in there, I tell you. You got to stick the knife in, is what you do.
Maybe he knew he was going. Absolutely, maybe he knew he was going. And Russell Martin, similar. No surprise really to see him go. I think ultimately you have to be adaptable. It was interesting listening to Ange Postecoglou post-match, actually, last night, and he said, we knew we'd be all right today because we're a good pressing team. They like to play out from the back, and we were going to have some joy by doing that. Russell Martin, in all his time in the Premier League, I know he wants to play a certain way, but you have to adapt. And if you watch Kieran, we don't always play out from the back. We like to play out from the back if we can, and we like to play through the thirds, but it's not always on. Sometimes you have to go long. Sometimes you have to beat the press. Sometimes you have to, put the ball into Liam up top, and you can't always try and play pretty football. And I don't think Russell Martin adapted quickly enough, really, or at all in the Premier League. So to see both of those managers go, I wasn't surprised at all.
And our winning goal on Saturday, what a great header.
It was lovely, wasn't it? Yeah, really good. I mean, Jack Taylor's a player I've got a lot of time for. I like the way he plays. I like the way he arrives in the box, and I like the fact that he's a goal-scoring midfielder, box-to-box midfielder. And so it was really nice to see him get on the score sheet, score the winner, pick up the 3 points, because he's someone that's had to bide his time. I think he's been really good off the bench, effective off the bench this season. Got a start a couple of weeks back, and then to score the winner, I was really pleased for him, because he's a player with big ability and someone that I really do quite like.
Jambo?
I think that was our first goal from a set piece, from a corner, right, this year? Is that right, Chia?
I'm going to let you down. I'm not quite sure.
See, put it on him there. He just runs up and down the wing, this guy. Yeah, I think it's unbelievable. Like, what do you say? It's a game that we needed to win, and the boys come up trumps, and there's no better way to do it when you have how many fans do we take to Wolves? I know how they like to set up the whole side of the stand for the away fans, and we'll take every single ticket going at the minute, so it's brilliant to see. And I spoke to the lads after the game, and the joy and elation that they showed in that moment was a culmination of the disappointment I think they've showed. And we were speaking before, we've been in every single game bar a couple, and as a player, that's almost a little bit more difficult to take, because when you come up into the Premier League or whatever league you get promoted to, and if you realise, we're getting beat 3 or 4-0 every week and we're nowhere near it, you almost sort of settle for your fate. But the lads have been so competitive in all the games, and the last few weeks have been disappointing, yes, but it shows absolute culture and character that has been created, and they get the job done in a game with so much pressure.
The header. I mean, first of all, the cross from Mr. Longshort out on the left wing. Jack Clark. What a ball that was into the box. Have you ever scored a header like that?
Me?
Yeah, you. Have you ever scored?
Yeah, I scored a few like that, Tez.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Come on, mate.
Matt, have you ever scored a header like that?
Yeah, I've scored a few of those as well.
Come on now, really, yeah? Okay, good.
Yeah, there's not many out-jump Marcel Desailly.
Oh, hello.
Touche, I think, touche. Cheo, you ever scored a header like that?
Not exactly like that, no.
At least you're honest anyway, yeah. Russ?
A couple past Paul Cooper.
Yeah, same with me, yeah. We probably scored more goals past Paul Cooper than we did in the other net. But I have to say, I mean, there was just pure magic. You sensed that something was sort of bubbling, because they'd just dropped off. They were absolutely knackered. And we got the corner, and then obviously what a ball in the box.
Yes,
and
the delivery's everything.
It's all about delivery, yeah. What a magic delivery. Fantastic. So he only scores brilliant goals, doesn't he, Jack Taylor? So hopefully score a few more.
What was the atmosphere like, Chio, on Monday?
What you mean in the dressing in the training ground? It was lively. It was lively. It's always good to see the guys smiling. To get a win in this league is extremely difficult. So, it was good to see them all smiling, and everyone's hugging, and But I think we don't want to celebrate too much. But it's positive, because when you get a win like that, training for that week is always good and high intensity, because you get that endorphins in your body that gives you motivation to try to win again. So it's always good to win, but most importantly, I think the boys went out, obviously, as a team together, to just a bond, and hopefully bring it into this week and continue this momentum.
Christmas do, wasn't it?
Yeah, Christmas.
Did you go?
No, I did not. I don't want to be seen in a booth.
That's the only thing I miss. Christmas dues. Unbelievable.
What were yours like then, Chamber?
Yeah, they were quite lively at times, yeah. I think we didn't have too many positives, so we tried to make sure we had a good time around Christmas. I was the leader of that, to be honest.
Fancy dress?
What, tonight or?
Yeah, tonight.
Oh, yeah, we had
all
a
the
few
time.
fancy dress. Dublin was usually the go-to location. Temple Bar, it would be like the PFA Awards. It would be like fancy dress of every single footballer in the EFL.
It'd be a bit messy.
Yeah, it was. He wasn't there, though.
No.
Good joke, Terry.
Sorry,
We'll
guys,
wait
sorry.
for it.
Yeah, moving on. Let's go.
Wasn't even a joke, but there we are. I remember being having it was New Year's Eve in Scotland, and I'd broken my leg, so I had a stookie on, a plaster on. So I went down the local pub, because you have to go down in Scotland very much and have a dram or two and all that sort of thing and celebrate. So I got a lift down, because I was lived up the hill, and lift down. 5 hours later, I decided to come back, but there was no lift and no cars. So I ran up the hill. It was brilliant. I never made it back for 8 months after that.
With your stoopy on?
Yeah, stupid, yeah.
Did they get home safe? Did they behave themselves? Did they?
From my
mate?
from my understanding, everyone was there in training. Everyone looked good, and everyone was speaking English. So that's the most important. And people can, they weren't slurring their words. So no, I think it was a good night out. I think it came at a perfect time with a win as well.
What were your memories of those Christmas parties, Russell?
He ain't got no memories.
We've got plenty of time. It's okay.
Have we? Fancy dress was always good. I don't know why I went to Share one night, but I did struggle to get a taxi home later on. We got a funny bunch of lads down at Southampton. Now we were talking about Southampton. People like Jimmy Case. Now, if anybody knows about Jimmy Case, Jimmy used to wear hearing aids, and he used to take them out for a game and stuff like that. Jimmy was a hard lad. Jimmy was proper tough lad. And when Jimmy was going out for a drink, which was like every day, on the bar or the table where he was drinking, he would have a pint, a gin and tonic, a brandy, a drambuie, and another shot. And his evening, he would have 5 drinks lined up all the time, all the way through the evening. So you would say to Jim, do you want to drink by any chance? And he said, yeah, and he'd just down the pint or down the gin and tonic, and he just had to replace the gin and tonic. And Jimmy was fantastic, but, over Christmas, he would probably just disappear a little bit more than he used to disappear most weekends. And most weekends he used to get off the coach after an away game on a Saturday night, and his wife would phone me sometime on Sunday to see where he was. I didn't know where he'd gone, and turn up at the training ground on Monday morning, still flying a bit high, good as gold. But John Burridge came to mind for Christmas dinner one day. What a mistake that was. Showed his backside to my mother-in-law, my mum, my sister. He was doing charades, Man in the Moon, and he dropped his jeans, he dropped his boxer shorts, turned round, bent over and pulled the cheeks of his arse apart.
Sounds like our Christmas thing.
Well, that was our Christmas do after Christmas training that morning. We had a couple of pints of Guinness on the way back after training, and lunch was a little bit delayed, so we had a glass of champagne, and by that time, the goalie, John Burridge, is a lunatic anyway, And that was it, Man in the Moon.
Anybody get it at all? No?
My mum got a whiff of it.
Matt, what was it like, your Christmas parties at
Very
town?
sedate, Mark. Very sedate. Very professional.
Love it, Skipper.
Very professional. Made sure the lads were in tow and not having too many to drink. To be honest, one Christmas we did take Gary Croft with us, and you're going to think that's not unusual. He did play for us, but at the time he was spending 6 weeks in Hollesley Bay. So he was, as a mannequin, his face and his Croft number, whatever he had on his shirt on his back. So we did take him out with us. But yeah, he was having 6 weeks at His Majesty's service at the time. So, but he did come with us on the Christmas do.
Oh, that's nice of you to think of him.
Yeah,
It was
exactly. He actually wrote a really good poem. I wish I'd kept it. He wrote a really good poem about the players and the team, which he asked me to read out at the Christmas do because he wasn't going to be there. But I wish I'd kept it because it was brilliant. It was brilliant. Yeah.
And who was the joker then, Chambo, at your Christmas parties? Who would it have been?
Joe Garner. He was an absolute lunatic. Honestly, if I could put him on one of those little strap things you put on a 3-year-old, that's what I needed to do, really. I think he got home one night, I think the Saturday night, he got home at like 5 in the morning, and we were meeting at sort of 9 a.m. the next day. I think it gets to like 9:30, 10. We're like, where's Garns? Like, all the lads are in the bar, fancy dress, ready to go again. And we just sat there, and another sort of half an hour goes past. It's like, go and check in his room, he's not there. Next thing you know, we're all in this bar area, and we see this old fella in like a mobility scooter, like hunched over, he's got a beer on the front of his like basket. And all of a sudden, I was at the corner of my eyes, just comes speeding around all the chairs. And he's just chucked his beer in the air, and he stood up, and he's had a makeup artist in his room for like an hour at 6 a.m. He's got full old man gear on, and he's just jumped up in the air like he must have paid 300 quid for the scooter, for hiring it. Just like absolute joker, mate. He's just killed me every time. I think he's still going to this day. I think he's probably just been on his Christmas do. God knows where he is.
I wasn't at the Christmas do. It was the year before I arrived, but Danny Sonner was quite a character, as you know, Danny Sonner. And anyway, he turned up to the training ground. They were going to London for the day and trained first. But Walkie was playing at the time still, and he was wearing a certain shirt. Danny Sonner saw what he was wearing, decided to go into town, buy the exact same shirt as Walkie, so that they'd just to take the mickey out of Walkie. Anyway, they get into London and they're going to Stringfellows for the night. And they get to the front of the queue, and Peter Stringfellow was there at the front, and he recognised Walkie. He said, "Oh, Walkie, John Walker, what are you doing?" He said, "Oh, it's like Christmas do, Ipswich Town's Christmas do." He said, "Who's with you?" He said, "Oh, Adam Tanner, 10 different names." He went, "What?" And Danny Sonner's got like that in the background. He went, "No, he's not with us." So the team all went in, and he left Danny Sonner outside Stringfellows.
Anything you want to add, boys? Russell, Terry?
No.
No, nothing that can be said really, because it was too rude. No, it was too rude, but I'll tell you now, yeah. It's a criminal act some people were pursuing, but
Was it Christmas
we'll move on.
lunch when George walked through the front door at Belstead Brook?
It was some lunch, yeah. I don't know which one it was, but yeah. He's walked through a plate glass door.
Glass door on the way in.
And then
Stone cold sober.
and then picked himself up, dusted himself down, and went to the bar. Great stuff. Hard. The Scots are hard, aren't they? Really tough.
It's time now to see who we think is this week's Ipswich Town Player of the Week. It's sponsored by the Dove in Ipswich. So let's start. Russell, who would you choose this
Jack
week?
Taylor.
You sure about that?
Elaborate?
Jack Taylor.
Yep, fantastic. I thought he was terrific the previous game as well, so really pleased for him. Yeah.
Brilliant. Terry?
Jack Taylor for that header.
Okay. Matt?
Jack Taylor.
Chambo?
Jack Taylor.
Well, I would go Jack Taylor.
Easily persuaded.
That'll be Jack Taylor then. That'll be Jack Taylor.
Hang on.
Let's talk just briefly about your career, Gio, and the Irish connection. How did that come about?
Honestly, I do not have any Irish connection. No Irish blood. No, I just happened to my father obviously, got a job in Ireland, and he moved there as a nurse, and he brought us over. And I just grew up in Ireland. I moved to Ireland when I was 8 years old, and obviously from 8 years old, I went through the school system. I learned the culture. So I obviously being the first African-born player to play for Ireland. So it's not by heritage, obviously. It's just by just a citizenship and growing up there and getting the opportunity, really.
And yours was a fairly similar path, Matt, wasn't it?
What are you trying to say? I've got no Irish in me as well. No, I have got a connection. My grandparents, from Ireland. But yeah, it was Mick McCarthy actually who first got me involved in the Irish setup.
He's not really Irish either, is he?
Yeah.
He's from Barnsley.
You see, he phoned me at home, asked if I'd be interested. I think George Burley had told him that I had, Irish heritage, and he phoned me at home, and you know what it's like. The phone rings at home. Someone's pretending to be Mick McCarthy, and you go, "Yeah, good one." and he said, "No, it is Mick McCarthy, and I would like you to play for us. We've got a B International coming up. Would you play?" So that's how it all started for me. So yeah, some great memories, some great days, and look, playing at the World Cup, and it's just a dream come true for anyone, and some great teammates. And congratulations, Gio, as well on your Player of the Year as well for Ireland.
Thank
well
you.
done.
Thank you.
Some great teammates and some thick teammates as well. I played with Jason McAteer, who's not the brightest, nicknamed Trigger. We went to Russia, and we had to fill in a form, to get a visa, and it said name caps, and he put Jason McAteer 37. No, capital letters, not how many caps you've got. And on the same form it said position in company, he wrote right midfield. He wasn't the sharpest tool.
Joe, can you just describe that boot for us? Not that one, the other one.
What boot?
The other one, the adapted training shoe.
So
This is how far medical science has gone now, isn't it?
Yeah, things are a lot advanced now. Players we're fortunate in the generation we're in. We have.
I don't know if anybody can see. Can everybody see that?
Oh God!
Because he's got the normal Achilles protector on one foot, and then a flip flop
on the other
underneath the Nike.
So the name of it is actually it's called Even Up. So obviously it's a small device that helps you because the boot's so high. You become lopsided, and with the injury you walk and you don't want to obviously put pressure on your hips and
Be
your
like
joints.
a sniper's nightmare.
Yeah,
Like
basically you become like a penguin. You're just side to side. So
Crikey, man.
so this helps me just stay level. So my hips, I don't have any hip problem coming out the boot. You don't want to go from one problem to the other. That's all.
I had a pair of shoes like that, to be honest, when I was younger. They're called platforms. Can you remember the platforms?
Certainly do.
And my platforms were about 3 inches big. Well, platform boots.
Made him 7'2".
I kept hitting my head on the door when I came in. I didn't know why. Yeah, that's right. I was up there with the boys and fashion, no problem. I don't know what I say, but it makes him laugh.
Subtle.
Yes.
Have you never had platforms?
I've got them on now, look.
No,
And
they're
then
not,
those socks,
they're not
look.
platforms. You're talking about Elton
We're
John
going off
style.
track here, Mark, aren't we?
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right.
Yeah. Got time, have we?
You have had platforms. That's why you're cringing, isn't it?
Never.
Never?
Never. Why would?
Platform
Listen, I'm not going to judge your era. It's a long time ago, but you know what I mean? It's fine. If platforms were in then, brilliant. If you've got them in the loft, we'd love to see them on the next show, though.
I've still got them, yeah.
Oh, there we are. There's
Have
a
I
challenge.
hell
Bring
got
'em in.
them? I don't know, no chance.
Have a fancy dress one.
Oh God! I saw some pictures of a Liverpool squad in fancy dress gear on Facebook this week, and I tell you what, some of them really wouldn't want that picture shown too far and wide because it was pretty inappropriate today, the fancy dress. Anyway, it's time for Ask the Legends, sponsored by Seckford Golf Club.
Ooh.
So if you watch the show, you'll know that every week we put Terry and Russell on the spot. Chio, Chambo, Matt, you can help or hinder however you wish. At the moment, Russell is on 12.5 and Terry is back down on 6.5.
It's not good.
Move on. Come on. Get it over with.
So, a question from our friends at Seckford Hall, okay? Feel free to help here if you can. Following the victory on Saturday... Oh, Chio, you might be able to help with this, actually.
Oh, God.
Following the victory on Saturday away to Wolves, what was the combined age of the Ipswich team's starting 11 players? The combined age...
I think the people of Seckford should go out more, to be honest.
Yeah. How long have we got?
Following the victory on Saturday away to Wolves, what was the combined age of the Ipswich team's starting 11 players?
Starting 11.
Yeah, starting 11.
You got a calculator for him?
No, they're going to have to use mental arithmetic.
Just give Russell the point now, I reckon.
Feel free to shout out, capacity crowd, if you think you have a guess or you think you know. You can help or hinder. There's some proper calculators going on here. There's a lot resting on this. 12 and a half, 6 and a half. Okay, Russell has got a figure.
Go through the team.
And Terry, have you got a figure?
Harry's what, 24?
Well, I have a figure, but it's not the figure. Yeah.
Okay, so Terry, would you like to show us and tell us what you think the combined age of Ipswich Town's starting 11 players was on Saturday? What do you think it was?
Well, first of all, I'll go first again, and the number I've said is 254.
Too low.
254. Okay.
More.
Oh,
Higher.
they like it over there.
Higher.
Well, you're a
Higher
bit
or
late now,
lower?
aren't you? You're a bit late,
Yeah.
for goodness sake.
It took me that long to add it all up.
I've gone to 80.
280.
Close. That's close.
The average,
What?
hang on, the average age, 25.1. The total age, 284. Well done,
Ooh.
Russell Osman.
Hit the post.
Oh,
284.
13 and a half, 6 and a half. Moving on, because Terry won't see me in the car park if I mention it too much. All right. Anyway.
What was it again? 13 and a half, 6 and a half?
Yeah, something like that.
Just want to make a note.
Yeah. Or ordinarily, it would be time for our table football challenge sponsored by Fred Olsen Logistics. We're not doing it tonight, but just to keep the sponsors happy because they are here. Here's the logo. Hey! There we are. Thank you, Fred Olsen Logistics. Thank you very much. They also sponsor, by the way, our next section, which is On This Day in History, sponsored by Fred Olsen Logistics. Here we go.
Right, on this day in history, from Dan Botton's book. What's the date? The 16th? You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck all happened on the 16th. On this day in history, well, actually, near as damn it. Wednesday, the 16th of December, 1953, Motherwell-born Alex Crow's 86-minute winner was enough to see off plucky Walthamstow Avenue in an FA Cup second-round replay. Wow.
Wow.
Also, on the 16th of December, this is a little bit more up our street, 2006, a fierce shot from Gavin Williams, so I don't believe that, a fierce shot from Gavin Williams saw off Leeds United, who had Kevin Nichols sent off for 2 bookable offences. And that was all at Portman Road. And that is it. That is all that happened on Wednesday, the 16th of December.
There's nothing else, is there? It's a pretty sparse time of year.
Must have missed something.
Can't you go forward a day and find something interesting?
I can't, actually. I've had a look. I'll go 2 days ahead. Wednesday, the 18th of December, 1974, George Burley picked up his first representative honours for Scotland in a 3-0 under-23 defeat to England in Aberdeen. Well done, George. Saturday, the 18th of December, 1983, a magnificent injury time own goal from current Bolton Wanderers boss Gary Megson enabled Town to beat Norwich City 2-1 at Portman Road. John Walk's early penalty was equalised by Mark Bowen. Friday the 19th of December 1986, Mark Brennan, anybody remember Mark Brennan? Great drinker. He was a proper...
Yes, he learnt well when he was younger
Him
from
and
us.
Walkie,
Yeah.
pint for pint. Jeez.
Well, Walkie got them free, so he wouldn't pay for it, would he?
Mark Brennan's second brace in 6 days defeated Plymouth Argyle. Town moved to third after the 2-0 victory, and that happened on Friday the 19th of December 1986, all from Dan Botton's book on this day in history.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Someone said if Carlsberg did football results at the weekend, it would have ended up what we had at the weekend, which was a win for the men's team, a win for the women's team, a loss for Norwich City, and a loss for Norwich City women. So a perfect kind of weekend as far as that goes for Town fans. Ipswich Town's women beat Bournemouth 1-0. They now face Manchester City in the Cup. So big cheer for our women. They are doing fantastic. And Matt, you talk about the club. I mean, they are an integral part of the club now, aren't they? The women's team. We're going to see them hopefully on the main pitch again this season. It's just fantastic what Joe's doing with the team.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I messaged Joe. Obviously, congratulations getting through to the next round. And I said, great draw as well. He said, we'll try and keep it down this time around against Man City because we got hammered last time we played them. But a great opportunity for the girls to showcase their talents against a really top side. But they've been brilliant for the football club, great ambassadors. Great to see them playing at Portman Road, and that's obviously going to happen again next year as well in March. So great that they're going to be at Portman Road. 10,000 last time, so it'd be great if we can try and get a bigger crowd for that. The same day that same weekend, we're doing the walk for Marcus Stewart as well, the MND walk, and we're going to end up at Portman Road. We're trying to coincide it with the match as well, with the women's team, so there's a massive crowd there. They can see the walkers in at Portman Road when we finish our Wembley to Portman Road walk for MND as well. So they've been incredible, and Joe Sheehan's doing a great job. And fingers crossed they can get promoted this season and obviously have a successful game at Portman Road as well. So well done to them.
Yeah, it would be amazing to see them promoted as well, wouldn't it? I mean, the setup's there for it, isn't it now, for promotion? If they made it, we're ready to...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's been an investment in the team this summer. So, they are absolutely an integral part of the football club. And if we can get promoted, that'd be a great achievement. And obviously, a great chance against Man City to showcase their ability.
This weekend, Newcastle. Okay. No Liam Delap, which is a big loss. Russell.
I'm available. Thanks, Richard. Disappointed that he picked up his booking in such a silly way, really, but it all does kick off at the end of games now and again, and before you know it, you've done something and somebody's caught you doing it. But I'm sure we're ready for a home win. And I'm sure we're going to get it. Whoever is the person that's going to lead the line up front, whether he plays one up, one off, however. We've got enough good players in the squad at the moment to put 11 players on the pitch at Portman Road to beat Newcastle at the weekend. I've got no doubt about that at the moment.
Terry?
Oh, sorry. No, that was Mark trying to think who to replace Delap. But it's a little bit self-inflicted, of course, from what happened afterwards with this stupid Wolves reaction right at the end of the game. But he's a great coach, so he's got a lot of players available. Maybe a shift round for somebody. He has obviously lost Hurst as well. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know about Smodic. Gio, you know any update on Smodic?
Yeah, Smod's doing well. I think he had a stomach bug, but he was out training today, so I think he's in good form. So obviously he's going to be an option for the manager.
You think he could play?
I don't know. Obviously, I'm just kind of in the building. I'm not out watching the training. But I think, listen, I have.
Sitting on the fence, Gio. Come on, mate.
What?
Sitting on the fence, are you?
Yeah. I'm tired.
Don't give nothing away.
No. No, I have nothing to give away. I haven't been watching training, but I just said like I'm confident the manager will have some plan against Newcastle, obviously. So.
Yeah, I think that's the way forward to do that, and it gives Smods a chance, doesn't it? In a position, I think he likes that position.
Yeah, I think he likes to be anywhere near the goal. He's had to find his way into the team and where it suits him best, and I think he's done tremendous since he's joined the club. And I think we certainly play in a different way to Blackburn and the way he scored all the goals there. But I think having him down the middle is definitely an option for us. But I wouldn't want to even try and second guess what Kieran's got planned for it. And I'm hoping that Newcastle come down with a bit of they'll be over, whether they've got some overconfidence over the recent results.
A bit of arrogance.
Yeah, a bit of arrogance, and maybe they won't respect us as much as they need to, and we'll catch them, especially early on, and Portman Road will drive us over the line finally for that first win.
I think we're clearly light on options up top with the injury to George Hurst. But I think what we've learnt over the 3 years of Kieran is that we trust his judgment, and whoever he does decide to lead the line, it will be the right call, because Kieran will have made it and assessed it and done his due diligence on it. So whoever gets the opportunity to play up top will be absolutely fine. Newcastle at the weekend have been really good at home, but they've been, gettable, I think, away from home. Joe Linton's suspended, so yeah, Delap's out, but Joe Linton's missing for them as well. So great opportunity for us. Another game where, I think we'll be competitive, and that's what we have been throughout the majority of the games. And so yeah, whatever team Kieran picks, I trust his judgment. I mean, there was an incident, I think, when he not long he'd taken over, and I think he took Wes Burns off after an hour. I was sat upstairs. Why has he taken Wes Burns off? Whoever came on scored 2 goals. I thought, well, that's why I'm sat upstairs, not in the dugout, because Kieran's a genius. He just knows when to make the right calls. So absolutely trust his judgment, whoever plays as a number 9.
I think he trusts Ali as well. So if he's an option to start the game, I think he's not going to let anyone down. His work rate and the way he chases balls down and gets after it for the team will stand us in good stead for later part of the game to bring on some more influential
But
players.
it's a chance, isn't it? It's like well, go on and see what you can do then. And then, players, particularly in this club, they take that opportunity, with both hands. I mean, you're right, Matt. Newcastle already won 2 away, I think, and only kept 2 clean sheets. Are there any Magpies here? Any Newcastle people?
Oh, there's one.
There's one.
Not many.
Well, generally I would say I don't like you, I hate you, because as an ex-Sunderland manager, I hope you get bloody stuffed.
Terry sitting on the fence as always.
Yeah.
In Kieran we trust, don't we? He does know what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, we have 1 or 2 people that look at the attacking situation of the club and, wish that Caden Jackson was still here. That's a bit of a private joke down there. I mean, Keeble Cars, one of our sponsors, one of his biggest sponsors. And, yeah.
I think it was his only sponsor, wasn't it? But there we are.
But Delap's little altercation at the end of the game, a bit disappointing to pick a yellow card up like that. And
I think the physical nature of Liam, he's susceptible to pick up yellow cards. I mean, he likes the robust nature and the physical nature of the game. So he's always susceptible to pick up a yellow card, isn't he?
Just shithousery, that's what they call it, isn't it?
Are we allowed, is it before the watershed?
We are now. I swear when I want, so it's fine.
We know a song about that, don't we? He swears when he wants.
See?
there you go. Feel free to have a good swear up, Luke.
I'm done.
Excellent, right, okay. So time for the Man v Fat results. We do this every week. Man v Fat Mark's been in touch, just sent an email through. Just to change things up a bit, for our Essex viewers, we bring you the results of our Colchester League this week, which takes place every Wednesday at the stadium. The league is run by Tom Irving, who is the son of ex-Town player Russell Irving, who Terry and Russell may remember, says Mark. This week's results: Kebabadine 4, Pork Vale 3, Lardiff City 8, Queen's Pork Roasters 3, Man Titty 14,
Yes.
Ivory Cheese Toasty 10. Well done to Luke Wicks for hitting his 5% loss and Reece Curry for maintaining his BMI. We are done. Matt, it's been great to see you. Thank you very much for coming along. A great skipper, ambassador, director of the club. Thank you, Matt Holland.
Thank you.
Chio, amazing. Really good to have you on. You know, we wish you all the very best with your recovery. We want to see you bombing up and down that wing next season. More Ireland caps and just going for it, my friend. So thank you very much. Chio, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Terry Russell Chambo, thank you very much. Thank you, Capacity Crowd. That's it for this week's show. We'll be back in the new year with a whole lot more. And I'm going to leave you with two little words. Feel free to join in as well. Blue Army!
This has been a Life's a Pitch TV production. Main sponsor, DPS Tech. Also supported by Lakens, All About Hearing, Forward Floors, Ginger Pickle, Fred Olsen Logistics, The Dove, Seckford Golf Club, Ashford Wright, John Keeble Cars, Venue 16, The Hudson Group, Come Hither Design, Sound 4 Pro Audio, and Suffolk Sound. Our charities this year: Cancer Support Suffolk and the Ipswich Town Community Foundation.